Hey folks, welcome to the GM's Alcove. Got another unboxing discussion for you. This time Starfinder, the beginner box. I got this a few weeks ago, actually, and I wanted to show you guys what's in here. For those of you that don't know, Starfinder, produced by Paizo, the makers of Pathfinder, the fantasy role-playing game. This is Starfinder, pretty much based on the Pathfinder system. It is quite different, actually, but it is based on that system. And Starfinder is the science fiction role-playing game put out by Paizo. And the beginner box is, well, just that. It is intended for new players to get into playing Starfinder, the role-playing game. Now, my experience with Paizo's beginner boxes, they had one for Pathfinder, first edition Pathfinder, and I loved it. It was a great way to get into Pathfinder, basically. Pathfinder can be quite overwhelming with all the books that are available for it to expand your game, and it can be quite daunting. The beginner box was always a neat way to get into Pathfinder, so I became a big fan of that, and it helped me get into the system years ago. So with Starfinder, something else I'm eager to get into, hopefully this year, 2020, this beginner box will hopefully do the same thing. I have all the rules. I have the Starfinder core rule book, as well as a bunch of other things, the combat pad and so on. But I've been waiting for this, waiting to grab this, and I finally saw an opportunity to do so. I grabbed it and picked it up, and here it is, folks. And we're going to rip into this and see what's going on inside the Starfinder beginner box. So let's take a look. All right. Of course, it's that nice, durable, high-quality box. If you're familiar with the Pathfinder beginner box, this is pretty much the same thing. Very high quality. There's a look at what you get in there. You get pawns, you get record sheets, pre-made characters, iconics, of course, and you get two books, a rule book for the GM and a rule book for the players, as well as a big map. I believe that's double-sided. And you get some nifty little rules cards. Well, we'll take a look at that when we crack the box. And, of course, you get a full set of polyhedral dice for your game. So there you go. I'm going to freeze the screen and take a look at that. There you go. That's what's in there. Quite a bit of stuff. I mean, it's worth it. It's not expensive to pick this up. I think I got it for under 30 bucks. You can't go wrong with that. So here you go. Of course, there's your dice, full set of polyhedral dice. I believe there is 7, so you only get one 10-sider. It'd be nice to have 2, but there you go. Pretty standard, black, white lettering, or numbering. And, of course, these are your bases to put your pawns on, your little card stand-ups of the heroes and opponents they might face. I've got one here that's yellow. That's different. Something important, I guess. But yeah, you get a bag of these. And then, of course, we get into the rule books, the meat of the starter box, beginner box, I should say. And yeah, here's your 2 books. This is all you need. And pretty much the same rules that you find in the core rule book. There are a few things left out, and there might be a change in the way some of the rules might work, but if there is, it can't be too much in here. I think that's the case. But otherwise, this is Starfinder. So get a look at what's going on in here. Nice layout, nice pages. Typical high quality you'd expect from Paizo. This is the Hero's Handbook, so this is where you begin. And I believe there's a solo adventure in here that gets you started. Yeah. Well, let's see. Is there or not? I'm not sure. There's an example of play. I think this is a solo adventure you can do. Yeah, Scoundrels and the Spike, what you need. So this is an easy way to introduce yourself to the core mechanics of the game of Starfinder. And again, this is the Starfinder core rules that you're playing here. So you do have this. I won't go too much detail with that. You got an example of play when you're playing with the GM. And then you got a nice explanation of basic concepts and getting started, how you can use the contents of the box, basically. And then it goes into the character creation. Everything about creating your character. Your theme, your race, your class, and generating your ability scores. And yeah. quite a bit here. Class suggestions for you. And it goes into detail about the races, the Vesk, the Shunta, Shirans, Sokis, themes, what they are, like the Envoy, the Mechanic. Give you an example of how these are laid out, the classes, little descriptions there, and when you level up, what you need to do. So it's very convenient. Once you reach second level, you just go through this and do everything it says. And I believe this takes you up to 4th level. That's as high as it goes there. So you got a lot to go here. You take your characters up to 4th level before you slip yourself and your friends into the full core rules, if you so choose. The Operative, Technomance. So these are all the classes that you can play, and I believe they're all here. Then it goes into skills, important part of the game, what the DCs are, and so on and so forth, what those skills represent, like a technology skill, stealth skill, perception skill, like it says there for survival down here. It's wisdom based. You use your wisdom ability. You can survive in and make your way safely through almost any kind of wilderness. Follow a creature's tracks and keep yourself and your allies fed by hunting and foraging. And some of the things you can do is follow tracks. There's its DC 5+, blah 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 blah. And here's another one, another use of the survival skill, Orienteer. With a DC of 15, you can use survival to try to avoid natural hazards such as quicksand or a patch of poisonous atmosphere. All those nifty things you'd find in a science fiction type setting. That said, this is actually more like science fantasy, if you're one of those out there that likes to point that difference out. This isn't your hard science fiction. You can actually have fantasy races in this, and there is magic. So yeah, it's kind of like a science fantasy type setting. If you're a fan of Pathfinder, you'll love Starfinder, especially if you like laser guns and things like that. And yeah, then it goes into feats. Feats, of course, an important feature of Pathfinder, as they are in Starfinder. They're what makes your characters unique and special. Special abilities that you get. Something besides just skills and high strength or something. You can have feats. So it goes into detail with that. I think there's like 3 pages of them there. About 4 pages. Then it goes into equipment. All important in a science fiction game. All kinds of stuff. Armor upgrades, armor, such as ceremonial plate, Defiance squad armor, officer's plate, overplate, thin plate, carbon skin, and so on and so forth. Armor upgrades, how to upgrade your armor that you currently have. All kinds of melee weapons. And again, nice artwork. Look at that. Fantastic. So as you can see, you're getting everything you would expect in a science fiction, science fantasy game. Magic items, adventure gear, magic items. What's this? Spell gems. Okay, page 45. The users. It's got a nice little icon picture here to show what classes can use certain things, which ones can't. The price and credits, and so on and so forth. Playing the game. Once you get your character all rolled up, this tells you how you play the game, how you make skill checks, how you see in light and darkness, movement rates, a little bit about starships and the drift and how it all works. Combat, of course, movement, actions that you can take during combats, and so on and so forth. Choosing your target, using an item. And there's a nice little map there that shows area of effects, spell areas, as it says here. And yeah, really nice. Injuring, how you die, how you heal, saving throws, how they work. Conditions, another big feature of Pathfinder and Starfinder. If you're flat-footed, -2 to armor class, you can be frightened, you can be hampered, helpless, off-kilter, staggered, unconscious, and so on and so forth. All the ones you need to play from the beginner box. Extended example of play. Again, another example of play. That's useful. A little bit on leveling up here. Beyond 4th level, what you need to buy, what's going on, if you want to buy anything. There's some recommendations. And I believe that's a sample character sheet. And the Galaxy talks about near space, the vast, the gap, inspirations in literature, film, television, tabletop RPGs, including Cyberpunk 2020, Shadowrun classics, Torg, Traveler, Warhammer 40K, Wrath and Glory. Interesting. And a glossary index. So there you go. That's useful. A little combat reference guide. And it's got the same thing on the back of the GM book too. So that's really useful. Like I said, Paizo does a really good job with their beginner box from Pathfinder, and I think it's even better the way it's done in Starfinder. Really useful. This is how you get started, folks. If you really want to get into some deep, good role-playing in a science fantasy or science fiction setting, there you go. I won't show too much of this because it's like a spoiler. This is the GM book. There is a beginning adventure in here, Steel Talon's Lair. We'll skip past that. And that helps beginning GMs to set up a full game with his friends, or her friends, and so on and so forth. Preparing for a session, how to run a session, how to pace, rolling dice, and so on and so forth. Rewards, experience and treasure and all that stuff that they can get. Building an adventure. The good stuff. How do you build an adventure in this setting? Lurking in the Deathless level. A little map there for you. Drawing maps, adventure hooks and storylines, additional quests. So you can see they're going out of their way to help GMs and players really get to grips with setting up and playing Starfinder. Like I said before, I'm a big fan of their beginner box for Pathfinder, the first edition. It really helped me a lot getting me and my friends into Pathfinder. Terrain, structures and materials, and this is no exception. Traps, computers, that's a useful section. Absalon Station, the Galaxy, nice star map, look at that. And you can learn all about the setting that Starfinder's set in, beyond the Pact Worlds. Of course, this will be important stuff as for the GM. Organization and threats, faith and religion. And you'll recognize a lot of deities here are from Pathfinder as well. Desna, as you can see. Siren Ray, Pharasma. Alien adversaries. We'll skip past this because these are the monsters, aliens. And a lot of these races you can actually play as well. I mean, the way the rules are set up, you can do that. And there's a lot of creatures in here, actually. Again, with great artwork. Creature creation, making your own. Alien planets, cities. What is this? Some kind of random encounter? Looks like it. Rolling deep percentage, space goblin. Random encounters, that's what it is. That's what it says. Really useful. Where to go from here? And there's some of the products they have available when you're ready to move on. And yeah, well laid out. Rules, references, choosing a target. And of course, look at that map right there. Is that Absalon Station? Yes, it is. And yeah, index, and of course that combat reference chart on the back. Well, two extremely useful books. What is this, 96 pages, and the player book, probably about the same. Yeah, it's 96 pages as well. Two 96-page books. Wow. Now we get some unique things here. Cards, Munchkin. If you're into Munchkin, Starfinder Munchkin, there you go. You get a little card there. Never played Munchkin, actually. And you get a bunch of these, so each player gets one, what you can do in your turn. So if a player is playing for the first time, you give him this card, along with his character sheet, and it gives a little brief explanation of the various conditions he might be subjected to, as well as a little overview of what you can do during your turn, during a combat. Move, take an action. Here's a list of actions. Use an item. A nice little reference to the player's handbook, or the hero's handbook, rather, where to find the exact rule. A little bit on resting. Basic roll is D20 plus modifiers. That's pretty much how the system works, folks. D20 plus mods. And yeah, that's really useful. Let me get these out here. And next up, we've got some pre-made characters that you can just give to players if they don't want to take the time to make them. And it explains the sheet. Nice layout, just like in the Pathfinder Beginner Box. A little bit of background for this particular character, Navasi. And you can think you get 4 of these or 6. You got an envoy, mystic, operative, mechanic, soldier. I'm going to guess there's 6. And the technomancer. I believe they're the spellcasters. They blend magic and technology. Wield magic to blast their enemies. Use technology to power their magic. Reads minds to communicate telepathically. Now this is cool. So there you go. If that's what you're into, there you go. You just look that up. There's a character, and there's a sheet already made for you to play. There's skills, there's stats. You don't have to do anything. There's an explanation coded for everything on the sheet. Fantastic. And then a little bit of background to help you roleplay during your first session. So you get 6 of these. Very nice. After that, we count these again. Is there 6 there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I thought there was an extra one. All right, so 6. Like I said. And, of course, you get some blank character sheets for making your own characters when you're ready. And these are nice record sheets, by the way. Definitely going to use these. Don't have to print anything out. D46, character sheet, equipment, and they're double-sided, 1 sheet per PC. And initiative, your armor class, there's 2 different armor classes in this game. There's, what are they? There's armor class for your, where is it? I don't see it on here. I can't remember what it's called. There's ones that are used against energy and ones that are used against kinetic attacks, like bullets and stuff. So you keep track of 2 armor classes. Where is that on here, actually? Initiative, defenses, hit points, resolve points, armor class, blah, 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 armor proficiencies, armor upgrades. Huh, I guess you only have the 1. I'm not sure how that works in this. Interesting. Oh, maybe I'm just missing it. But anyway, I think you get 6 of these. You should. They give you 6. Yeah, you get 6 blank character sheets for you to fill out at your leisure. And you can roll up your own characters. Beautiful. This is a nice quality paper as well, folks. This isn't cheap, like glossy magazine paper. This is pretty good. That'll last you a while. Very durable. And this looks like a little Starfinder Beginner Box components and so on and so forth. And we get this map. And I'm not going to be able to pull this all out. Leads us to say, if you've seen any of Paizo's previous... Well, actually, let me pull this back and lay this out for you so you can get a good look at what it looks like. All right, so there it is. This is the standard size map you'd expect from Paizo. It's fold out, dry erase, so you can mark it up to your leisure. And this is actually for the adventure that comes in it. And it is double-sided. The other side is pretty much generic and blank. Get that glare out of there. So there is that. So again, really high quality of this too. This will last you a long time. So that's a quick look at the map. Sorry I couldn't unfold this more for you guys. But again, if you ever had any of Paizo's maps, this is pretty much the same thing in terms of quality and detail, and just plain looks fantastic. Look at that. Looks like there's some oozes there. Nasty. All right, so that's a look at the map. Now let's see what else we got. Also, we have, what is this? 3 sheets of pawns, which you can use in your games. As you can see here, that's basically to replace miniatures. If you don't have miniatures. So you get a whole bunch of these guys. Double-sided, of course. Be nice if they had the back of the guy molded on. I don't think Paizo ever did that with any of their stuff. Where you get the front face and the back face. Obviously take more time and money to do so, but it would be nice. And you get 3 of these sheets, everything you need to start playing. You're going to get some that are for the adventure. And you're going to get some extras in there to represent some of the other creatures and NPCs you can encounter when you make your own adventures, and so on and so forth. So that's about it. That's the contents of the box, folks, and I'm quite pleased. Very pleased, actually, with the layout of the rule books. And I think this is going to help me get into the game a lot sooner. And yeah, so there's a look at Starfinder. I'm going to have to crack these dice out and add them to the collection. I love collecting dice. There they are, folks. That is Starfinder, the beginner box. And let's grab the map real quick. Again, in case you missed that because I wasn't close to the mic, this is pretty high quality. If you've had any of the Paizo's maps before, this is pretty much the same quality. And it's double-sided. One side is pretty much blank of features, so you can put anything you want on them. Again, you can use dry erase on these and wipes right off nice and clean. Very durable, lasts you a long time. So this side, of course, has maps for the adventure that's in here. And you're good. So I'm very pleased with this for the price that I paid for it, which again is like under 30 bucks. Well worth it. This is going to help me and my friends get into Starfinder. No time at all. So I'm going to have fun with this. So there you go, folks. That's Starfinder, the beginner box. Let me know what you guys think. You like Starfinder? Want to see some Starfinder here on the channel? Some beginner box adventures, perhaps? Let me know. Leave your comments. And we'll see what comes in 2020 regarding Starfinder. Till next time, folks, you guys, as I said before, take care of yourself. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all that goodness. And like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, folks, hang in there. It's only going to get better. You guys take care.